Hey everybody, I'm CJ, and obviously there have been a whole lot of new layoffs and whatnot at DC Comics, and other people have talked about this at great length, and so I don't necessarily think that I need to go through this entire thing talking about this person getting canned, that person getting canned, and all that. I don't think there's any real need to do that. But one thing I do want to say is just how completely unnecessary all of this was. Not the layoffs. I mean, look, if you have to lay that many people off, you have to lay that many people off, right? But what was unnecessary is that this happened at all. That things ever needed to get so bad that this many people needed to get fired. Because I'm not, obviously, I can't predict the future. I'm not in any position to tell you what you should expect or what's going to happen or this, that, or the other. I can't, I can't tell you that. But at the very least, EVS is pretty sure that this is basically the beginning of the end for. Actually, this is not the beginning of the end for DC. The beginning of the end of DC was actually the first round of layoffs. And what we're seeing is, I don't know, the continuance of the end. And just think about this for a minute, all right? Back in, I'll just be nice and say 2017 at the latest, the writing was already on the wall. It was already known that social justice comics don't sell. This was not a secret. Like if nothing else, DC had Marvel to point to as an example, saying, "Hey, they tried it and it didn't work." So a reasonable person would look at what Marvel was doing, see the failure, and think, you know what? Maybe if we do something not that, we'll have a different result. And then they would have tried. That's what a reasonable person would have done. And apparently, that's not what DC did. DC said, no, I think we can do better. Hold my beer, let's give it a try. And here we are. Now, I've said before that people really should stop trying to save the comic book industry because you see it sometimes. People come up with all of these sort of silly little LARPs about, well, if we just try this, we could save comics. Or if we just try that, we could save comics. Or any of a number of different things. Guys, here's the thing. Every single idea that you've ever had to save the comic book industry, you need to know something. It would probably work. I'm not here to critique it or anything like that. Whatever idea you have ever had, well, if we just try doing this, we could probably save the industry. Or if we reduce the number of titles, or if we started hyping up artists again, or if we did fewer crossovers, or if we did more crossover, or just fucking whatever, a line wide reboot of the entire DC universe, all of those ideas would probably, not all at once, obviously, but any one of those ideas would probably work. That would probably solve the problem. And the reason I say you shouldn't bother saying things like that or coming up with these elaborate schemes of how the industry can still save itself, guys, the people involved know what they need to do. They understand that if they simply change course, even now, it might be possible to save things, even now. They know that, and they're still not doing it. You know, everybody has a pet peeve in life, all right? Everybody that you meet, they they usually have two or three things that just really piss them off. And one of the things that's always just really pissed me off is people who don't stand up for something that they know to be right. People who don't do what they know needs to be done. And it's usually because of social pressure, real or perceived. There's a certain type of person that just cannot and will not ever go against the majority. And so when the culture of the company is majority SJW, it's like this kind of person, no matter how obvious it is to everybody else what needs to be done, no matter how obvious it is that SJW comics don't sell, no matter how obvious it is that the readers just want to read fucking superhero stories, there's a type of person who, even in the face of all that, the so completely bluntly obvious, still won't do what needs to be done because they fear the social ramifications of it. And I just do not respect people like that. I realize honestly, I mean, that accounts for the great majority of people out there. But I do not respect that. And all it really took was one person with the backbone and really the mojo to fire every single problematic element in the company, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much it costs, no matter who gets fired, getting rid of everybody who is contributing to this social justice sickness, so that the company can be rebuilt and the future of the company can be guaranteed. Easier said than done. I realize that. But it's like, at the same time, drastic times call for drastic measures. And the people who refuse to do what they knew was right because they feared the social consequences of that some dipshit website like Bleeding Cool or Newsarama, wow, they're going to say that I'm a big meanie head. Okay, well, they may or may not be saying that you're a big meanie head right now, but everybody is saying that your company is going out of business. Good job, asshole. Anyway, like I say, I mean, there's probably no need to go through every single one of these names, all these different people that got fired, and what the future may or may not hold for the company. It's just, it's sad. It's sad that there was apparently nobody in the company who was willing to do what needed to be done in order to save the company. And, rather than telling just good, clean, fun superhero stories that aspire to do nothing more than entertain, instead of that, we get non-binary Flash and gender-flipped who's he what's this, and it's considering how obvious the problem was, considering how obvious the solution was, maybe this isn't really a tragedy. Maybe this is just long overdue justice. So, anyway, I'm CJ, and that's that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, comment, like, and share this video because it really helps me out. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Loves Comics.